Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Colombelles, and in this one I'm going to be playing with the 4th Armoured after somebody suggested to play it on my stream. Now this game was played live on my stream, so the unlisted VOD is available to my patrons, and you can watch it back if you are. But here for you guys, I am going to be doing the post commentary over the replay, and I'm going to be playing today with Silhouette, who's on the 3rd Armoured. We have Dagger Bravo, who's going to be using the 15th Infantry, and we have Devout on the 3rd Canadian Infantry. On the opposing side, we have West Korea, Best Korea with the 716th Infantry, Master C101 with the 16th Luftwaffe Sarcastic with the 17th SS Panzergrenadier, and Paradox Obscurus with the Panzerlehr. So a nice variance of divisions for sure. Now if I change it to my perspective, we can see that I'm going to be playing over on this left side today, and the reason for that was quite simply because it's one of the most open parts of the map, and Hellcats work quite well in open areas where you can attack from multiple sight lines. So these little hedge rows here and tree lines, they provide like natural cover for like little Hellcat groups that you can use to then flank opposing attacking forces. Devout's going to be taking the town with the 3rd Canadian and should be doing pretty well there with the Stormtroopers. Then we have Silhouette with the 3rd Armoured taking the space between that town and the factory, and then at the factory we're going to be seeing Dagger Bravo control that with the 15th Infantry Scots, which is probably a pretty ideal division to be taking this area. If he gets Vickers into the right positions and the rifles into the right positions, then follows up with like an AVRE or some Churchill 5s, then he's going to be in a pretty good spot there. But either way, we're going to focus mainly on my play throughout this game, and we're going to be seeing the M475 Abrams come down and the M4 105. So Abrams going to be leading the charge for us, providing that command, leading the way with a couple of recon squads with their Jeep 30 cals, and then we have a bunch of rifles following up and an AT gun on the left side to hold this road, because I'm actually going to be focusing on this side first of all, because it gives us the best sight lines, especially if we manage to get up to this road. We can shoot all the way to the left side here, which is very, very nice. So I'm going to be trying to focus on that kind of push round here. Most of the time people kind of funnel down the far left, and this is quite easily countered because it's so concentrated. So all you've got to do as the opposing side is just have like an AT gun here or an AT gun here, and it just stops anything moving down there, which makes a lot of like a big build up here that just ends up wasted. So actually focusing on the right side and this kind of area is much nicer. It gives you a lot more sort of tactical viability as you continue throughout the game. Just going to speed it up and get the game underway. We can see that all of the units are almost down. The deployment did take a little while though, so yeah, just speeding it up to get that out of the way. Since I was playing it on stream, I believe the opposing side were sort of giving everybody a fair amount of time to get ready, and that's always nice to see. And that's it, that's the start of the game. So off we go. In for a long one, guys. The idea is to have the M4 105mm deal with basically anything that the opposing decks can send at us. The great thing about these M4s with their 10 armor is that 716th, 16th Luftwaffe, basically all of the opposing divisions, unless they have a Pat 40 at the start, are going to struggle with penetrating the armor of these Shermans. So having those 2 Shermans at the start is pretty damn important. And even if I bump into like something like an 88, I still have the M4 105mm with the 1,200 meter range to fire position it and try and stun it before I fully engage. My AT gun was unloaded on the road because I didn't want to get hit by their AT gun, which is in a similar position opposite. My Jeep 30 cal is going to be hit by the Puma there and forced to fall back, and I've got a bunch of rifles just coming up to the mid. They're not there necessarily to hold the line, but just kind of delay so that my M4s can roll up on this right side. You can see I've got the attack orders there. Over here I've got another unit of rifles that's going to be coming to the far left side of the town just to help secure this sort of forest area for Devout. And just secure my front line in general, because this is quite a large investment of points on this right side. I'm spread out quite thin, so the rifles are literally just here as buffers and to provide presence on the front line. So on the right side, Dagger 1 Bravo kind of didn't take the factory properly, so he is going to be struggling throughout the game. And currently Sarcastic doing a good job with the IG-18 and the Panzer Grenadiers pushing onto him. We've got Silhouette, who's having a nice fair fight with West Korea Best Korea, Pack 40 and Flak 88 on that side. And I ended up playing against the Panzer Lehr. Of course, the Puma giving that away almost immediately. But here the Panzer Grenadiers pushing through and forcing my rifles back. I obviously don't want them to die if I don't have to. And my M4s are still moving up over this road. So as soon as the M4 gets past this road, I'll have line of sight into this town, I have line of sight to the left side. It can be a bad thing to have too many sight lines because you can get hit from AT guns from multiple directions. But in this case I feel like the M4, especially at the start of the game, can do plenty of work. Now the 251-21 accompanied by a unit of Panzer Grenadiers does come through here and make one of my rifles surrender, which wasn't ideal at the start, and these rifles are being punished as well. So I do have the command on the way now. The one on the left side I had to unload early because I believe I had another squad coming up the road here, but it ended up getting shot by the AT gun. That was like a unit of infantry of some sort. Actually, it might have been a second AT gun. But either way, I let it die there and it wasn't good before it unloaded. Anyway, so here we have Paradox Obscurus. He had his AT gun on return fire. Fortunately, the M4s have their front armor facing as soon as that fired, so I'm able to pin it down almost immediately. The 50 cal is coming in handy there to get the initial stun on, and then the shot coming down from the M4 to do a little bit more damage. I'm going to go for the fire position there just to see if I could get an inaccurate shot to hit the pack, but didn't work out. Pack retreating on 1 health. So I've got to look out for that as we continue for the rest of this game. Now some recon is coming up here, and what's actually going to end up happening is the Jeep 30 cal engages the Citerungs, which actually unloads my infantry squad, because as soon as like a transport takes fire and it has no armor, what ends up happening is the unit inside sort of bails out, especially if they get forced to fall back. Now my M4 is engaging another Pack 38 here, hits it directly, 1 health left. Meanwhile, Abrams is dealing with some Panzer Grenadiers over on that left side, and I'm trying to get the Jeep 30 cal to roll up and maybe help those surrender. So if we go to the neutral perspective, you can see at the moment there is still 2 AT guns here, both on 1 health, which is kind of hard for me to deal with. The Jeep 30 cal is going to get hit by the Pack 38 there. I tried to do the fire position again to try and get rid of this Pack 38 if it hadn't actually fought back. But yeah, so far, Paradox Obscurus has been playing relatively well. He's been using his Panzer Grenadiers and his support combo to like make a lot of my infantry surrender before my sort of command has arrived. Because I was pretty light on command and infantry in general going into this, because I focused so much on these M4s. Either way, going to be using the M4 there to basically fire position this area, because I knew that the Pack 38 would be trying to sneak back into there to get a shot onto my Abrams. But with the smoke coming down, I'm just going to take the opportunity to reverse away from that tree line and avoid being hit there. And what Paradox Obscurus is doing here is really intelligent, keeping his unit out of the tree line and out of line of sight, because it means that even if I want to attack it, I'm going to need some indirect artillery, and from my perspective I can't even see it because it's behind hard cover.
Enemies nearby.
Even a recon squad wouldn't be able to see that from the other side. So that's exactly what he wants to be doing. Now, since we're seeing a lot of mobile forces running around, lots of half-tracks and so on, it's time to invest in my Hellcat. I'm going to bring that up to engage on the left side. Does get a shot towards the Puma there. I've also got another M4 105mm rolling up, and that's going to be helping deal with the 251-21. Now, as these units are retreating, they actually do bump into my armoured leader, which was unfortunate, and I only noticed this a little bit late. Otherwise I probably would have ran them away sooner. But yeah, the armoured leader going to go down there. The 251-21 actually ended up surrendering to my rifles as it was pinned down as it fell back. M4 105, that's going to be dealing with one of these half-tracks. Those half-tracks only have 5 AP though. That's a 250-10. Got a pack 38, I believe, or pack 37 mounted on top of it. A pack 35 even. But yeah, just going to go with more fire position shots. Also going to be going for the shot onto the pack 38 there. Just try and get rid of that, because currently we're kind of being surrounded by AT guns here, and it's really hampering the advance of my own vehicles. But as soon as these AT guns are dealt with, I'm going to be in a pretty damn decent position to push up, and that's what I'm kind of waiting for. So at close range here, rifles engaging Panzer Grenadiers. At that range, Panzer Grenadiers are actually worse than rifles. Rifles have like the solid 8 HE on target, whereas the Panzer Grenadiers have 5. So the Panzer Grenadiers, not only do they have less HE, but they also have less people. And with the M20 coming up, I'm hoping to get the 50 cal on target there. So I've ended up taking out the Pack 38 on the right side. I've taken out the Pack 38 behind the tree line, thanks to this M4. So now there's only one left that I know about on the right flank, and I know about the one on the left flank. So generally, I would say that the Panzer Lehr only brings in like 3 AT guns at the start. It's not always the case, but it most normally is. And considering I saw the 250-10, I know there's a Panzerschreck squad here somewhere. I've just got to be a bit careful about that as I advance forwards. But either way, if he's invested in both Pack 38s and the 250-10s with the Panzerschrecks in Phase A, it's unlikely he has another 3 AT guns until Phase B, which is kind of what I'm working around here, which is why I'm kind of pushing forwards quite aggressively. Now there is this little blob, the 250-10 sort of sitting there, 2 M4s with the 105mm is going to be slamming that. Even Abrams tries to get a shot off there. Some smoke going down on the right side of this tree line, and that's just Paradox Obscurus trying to get his Panzerschreck into a decent position to hit the Abrams. Now I'm smoking off my M20 just so that it doesn't get killed off by the Puma there, and then I can push through the bazooka to try and take that out. Because currently my Hellcat went up the mid, and I ended up having to like sort of pull it back to help out with this Puma. My recon is going down there, and Abrams dies as well to the Panzerschreck, as that smoke does allow the Panzerschreck to get closer. So really nice job by Paradox Obscurus to use the smoke to get close as he needed to be. But the double M4 105mm doing the job here, and it's a similar sort of push that would happen with the Churchills. The only difference is that these Shermans have 10 armor instead of 9 armor, which is massive against things like the Pack 38s, like I was saying. So rifles just trying to finish off the Panzer Grenadiers. The Puma did take a weapon damage. However, my Panzer or Bazooka squad did go down. The 1 health Pack 38 popped out. That's going to get taken down by my M4s as well. And now all I need is some recon just to secure these tree lines against any new Panzerschreck squads, which is exactly what I'm going for. But meanwhile, however, I can continue to just push forwards. I can completely almost ignore this left side. I do have the Hellcat here and the mortar to help out. So absolutely savaging Paradox's Phase A at the moment. Let's jump into my perspective again as we continue forwards. These rifles actually covered by enemy smoke. I do have to be a little bit worried about an AT gun coming down this road and going into this tree line. So here I'm actually starting to fall back a little bit with these M4s. But just as I sort of realise we're now in phase B, the Fell Panther arrives, and that actually initially targeted my Jeep. But after he gets on target, well, I know these M4s are doomed. It's going to take them a hell of a long time to get out of there. And that Befell Panther is going to be in range for a very long time. And there you have it. The Sherman going down there. I think actually the 250-10 might have picked up that kill. So I lose my M4s, but I still have these rifles here to almost like secure the land. And my Hellcats rushed up on this left side to kill off the Puma after I forced that to fall back again. So now there's these two blobs. I need to make sure that I deal with whatever's there. Of course, I do realise that there's these Panzergrenadiers here, and I do have some more infantry on the way soon to deal with that. And then I've got my rifles moving up on the left side to try and deal with the Panzergrenadier and the Pak 38. Now I thought this Pak 38 had been killed at this point, and it popping out there and having a shot at my Hellcat really gave me a heart attack. But the M20, it's got the back of my Hellcat covered, and with that one shot miss, I was lucky to have that Hellcat alive. Either way, the M20 plus the rifles, trying to find the Panzergrenadier there, and eventually we do. At close range, a 50 cal will rip to shreds a squad, and if they don't die, they're going to surrender, and that's exactly what happened. So my rifle's still holding that position. I've got a Hellcat on the left, I've got a Hellcat behind with this mortar. And my idea to deal with this Befell Panther is to have basically a two-pronged attack to the Befell Panther so that I can hit it in the side armor. Because at max range, 13 AP is not going to be enough to hit the 14 front armor of this Befell Panther. So I'm looking to just bring up more Hellcats and then work around that. Meanwhile, what I'm doing on this side is actually rolling forwards a Zuka squad to join my rifles and the armoured leader, so that any reinforcements that come down the left side hopefully get taken out. Now my bazooka squad does roll through here and manages to break the tracks of the 250-10 there, which was quite nice. We're going to be seeing Devout's Ram 2 take out a 250-10 on the right side as well, which does relieve a little bit of the conquest pressure here. But still 52% in favour of the Allies. On the right side, Dagger 1 Bravo's having a hard time getting back into the factory. Silhouette still butting heads with West Korea, Best Korea around the same place as he has been the entire game. And of course, Devout's doing the same thing in the town. Now with added pressure from the Panzerwerfer and the artillery. There's a lot of stuff burning in that town now. So it's really up to me to like sort of make the difference here. The Hellcat takes out another half track there, and taking out half tracks against the Panzerlehr is actually extremely important in my opinion. But I've now got 4 Hellcats. I've got 3 here, I've got 1 here. So what I want to do is just have them all attack the Befell Panther at the same time, and we should be good. I'm having this mortar just attack this tree line mainly because they've had AT guns and Panzerschrecks and stuff in here for pretty much the entire game. Got to be careful of this Panzergrenadier trying to hit my Hellcat, so trying to run it down there with the Hellcat in order to make them surrender. But not going to happen just yet. And that's just so that my Hellcat will be free to go for the 1,200 meter engagement onto the Befell Panther. Now my Zuka misses a shot onto one of the half tracks, which avoids me getting a kill onto one of the Panzergrens, which was kind of annoying. But my mortar is already on the case here, so that should help pin down those squads. M20 is rolling towards the Panzergrens there. And now I'm trying to get this Hellcat into a position to attack the Befell Panther, and then I'm going to use an attack order from these Hellcats to hit the Panther as well. Unfortunately, didn't quite time it right and didn't judge the distance. So the Befell Panther ends up killing that Hellcat outright. Further to that, the Panzer Grenadier just recovers in time in order to kill off my M20 before it can make them surrender, which was rather frustrating as well. So the Panzer Grenadier is going to get out of there today. On top of all that, my bazooka actually missed the shot onto the Befell Panzer IV, and that kind of became screwed on this left side. I do, however, have the M20 command here now, and I'm going to be using that to try and help out with the speed troop, but with the rifles being pinned down, they are very close to being surrendered, and that's exactly what happened. So with the Hellcat dying on the left side, I'm going to bring up a couple more. These are the two that were here. I've rolled them over to this side. The fantastic thing about Hellcats is they are very fast, 50 km/h off-road speed, and I actually fast moved them on this road, so they had the 100 km/h speed, just getting around here quickly to get into another position to make the same attack as I had before. So 2 Hellcats now going to come from this direction and engage the Panther at max range. Then I'm going to try and have this Hellcat sneak round and smash it at 1,000 meter range. At least that was the plan. So here we can see I'm sort of going for it with the Panzer Grenadiers, however, showing themselves. The 50 cal is going to be on target there. Hellcat's going to be firing at the Panther, and well, the Panther didn't know which way to face, so we actually ended up hitting it in the side armor with the first shot, and that was job done. Really nice Panzer worth a strike comes in, and that's going to force back a lot of my units here. I was lucky that that didn't actually kill more units than it should have. Like, if one of those Panzerwerfer rockets hit either the M20 or the Hellcat directly, they would have died. Over here we're seeing the Panzer IV engage my Hellcat. I'm going to try and just reverse that Hellcat out of line of sight of the Panzer IV, so that if he wants to come round the edge of that tree line, he's going to have to engage both of them at the same time, which isn't something he necessarily wants to do. But with the Befell Panther dead in the middle of this field, we're in a pretty good position to push through now. I've just got to basically secure this tree line. This sort of salient was quite a big issue, so I'm now bringing in the sort of infantry to cut that off, and I've also got plenty of tanks here. So we've got the Hellcat, we've got the M4A1, and we still have the 2 Hellcats here, but they're now rolling back over to the right side. I've also got the M20 command on the way to accompany them as long as I need them to. So I would say it's always very important to have the M20 command like follow up the Hellcats, just so that they always have that 1-star veterancy, because it's very important that they do have that. Otherwise they are generally quite inaccurate in comparison to other units, especially things like the Befell Panther. But that Befell Panther that we took out didn't really have a chance to fire, which is exactly the sort of situation that you want to be in. Either way, another M4 105mm coming on the way, and I actually end up forgetting about this M4 for the rest of the game, so completely ignore that. But yeah, the factory's not doing too well here. Dagger 1 Bravo trying to focus on the right side of the factory, and that's one way in for sure, but he's just got to make sure he cuts off this salient. So currently we're at 50-50 because Dagger 1 Bravo was having a bit of issue on the right side. I've got to try and make background on the left. But with Phase B arriving, or C, sorry, and me having some extra points, I'm actually going to be investing that in 3 new Hellcats. And here they come. So now I'm going to have 2 squads of 3 Hellcats, because I've already got 3 on the field already. And what I can do is just keep them in these 2 squads of 3s and do those flanking attacks like I did the first time round. I've also got my infantry here now, so we can sort of secure that salient that was occurring, and that's going to keep us at the 50-50 for now. But as soon as any Panzer Grenadiers show themselves, they're going to absolutely massacre. The amount of machine guns on target there is just nuts. And there we go, there's the +1. So I'm lining up my Hellcats to be in a position to take on this Befell Panther once it comes around the corner. I know that Hellcats have a quicker aim time than Befell Panthers, but with the Hellcats, I'm going to have 2 squads of 3 Hellcats, because I've already got 3 on the field. And what I can do is just keep them in these 2 squads of 3s and do those flanking attacks like I did the first time round. I know that Hellcats have a quicker aim time than Befell Panthers, So I'm trying to look for that engagement there. I've also got this M20 command on a follow command onto the M18. I've mentioned this before, but for those of you who've never heard me talk about it before, you can select a unit and then right click on another unit and it will follow it. So here we go, trying to get the line of sight here onto the Befehl Panther. And as soon as we're in line of sight, you can see the aim time there is just so damn quick. 3 shots, Befehl Panther doesn't fire a single shot, and that is job done. Now what we can do is take out the Befehl Panzer from outside 1000 meter range. However, if I've got 3 Hellcats on target, it shouldn't really matter too much. So there we go. One of the Hellcats is already on target. I've also got the mortar firing at it just to try and help out with a bit of the pinning. With the weapon damage, it just becomes completely useless, and the 3 new Hellcats that I have on the way, they're just gonna completely break through. Now, since I have broken through, generally what people do is bring in a lot of air force, so I decided to reinforce with some anti-air finally. We are actually, what, 17 or well 23 minutes into the game, and I've only just bought my first piece of AA, which is pretty risky, but either way, better late than never. And now would be the time that they would bring in a lot of AA or Air Force to try and crush these Hellcats in the open. The Hellcat's going to finish off the Befehl Panzer, and then we have the Panther A on the way now that we need to deal with. So again, keeping the squads in groups of 3s. I'm looking to get these Hellcats into a position on the left side here that will allow me to kill off this Panther A. Now somehow this Panzer Grenadier managed to pick off my M20 there. I do have my armoured rifles on the way to try and take them out. Beard Troop going to go down the left side there. There we have it, armoured rifles engaging. But there's another Panzer Grenadier squad here and it takes out my M4A1. But here goes the Panther engagement. Hellcats at close range. Gonna be managing to penetrate. The reason we penetrated at that range is because it was 600 meters. But again, the Panther just not doing much. Didn't give it a chance really to fight back. And that's exactly what you want to do. So with that Panther gone, I can clean up the rest of the half tracks. I've cleaned up the Panzer Grenadiers down here, and I can continue to push forward. So you can see all of my units now pushing forwards to take the next stand further up. And that's pretty much most of the Panzerlehr's units dead. If we go to Panzer Obscurus's point of view, he's currently got 1 257, the Panzerwerfer, without ammunition, and these tanks coming down the road on the left side. So he's in an absolutely terrible position, and I know that, which is why I'm pushing forward so hard. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to push past these tree lines because of the Panther. Now I could have probably had these Hellcats roll to the left side and engage from 1200 meter range here, and then had these ones attack from that side. But I just didn't really get my Hellcats into position fast enough. So here I'm trying to go for that. You can see I'm moving them over. A couple Hellcat groups. And the idea is quite simply to try and go for that attack. However, I'm kind of waiting for my M20 command. I think that's one thing I was waiting for. I should have had another one coming up to assist these Hellcats as well. The thing is, the longer I wait, the more chance I give Paradox Obscurus to come back with some more units that are going to be painful. Like more Panthers, maybe something even stronger. Right, here we go. Hellcat's going to be going for the attack. These Hellcats should be moving out as well. And here we go. Let's see if we can take out this Panther. Nice. We got him. So on this left side I was indeed waiting for that M20 command. HS129 going to be going down in the backside as well, thanks to Devout's Spitfire. And my AA is finally arriving as well. That's just a couple more actually, CGMCs to accompany the couple that I already have here. Now with that Panther gone, I should be pushing quite aggressively. But as you can see, there's like no recon on my side, which is a big mistake. If there was recon, I would easily be able to push all the way up to this spawn, I think, and the one on the right side. Because I would know exactly what was ahead of me. But a Pack 40 being brought in, and that Befehl Panzer 4 is kind of in a nice position to stop my Hellcats from rushing up. Because the Panzer 4 could still kill Hellcats quite easily. Either way, going to be trying to push up just a little bit as my half tracks move forwards. I've got my infantry trying to move through the tree line, and my half tracks continuing forwards. We've broken through, we're at the +2, 58% territory lead on the right side. Things aren't going too well still. In the sort of right mid, Silhouette's kind of broken through his mid area, and Devout's still stuck in the town. This fight was just absolutely brutal throughout most of the game, but Devout doing a decent job there, holding back his opponent whilst I sort of pushed up on this side. So with these half tracks, they're in a really good position because I wanted to get these Hellcats to like get round the edge of the tree line and attack them, but with this Pack 40 killing my half track, I can't push up that much further because he has 1,200 meter range onto those Hellcats if I'm not too careful, and he can continue to bring that forwards and sort of cut me off from moving around here. So instead I decided to go the other way around, the safe way around you could say, and head round the bottom side and then cut up, kill these half tracks, and that would relieve the pressure on my infantry to continue forwards to the Panzergrenz. Now again, these Panzergrenz really well placed. I felt that Paradox Obscurious was playing actually pretty damn well throughout this game in terms of his positioning. He definitely knew what he was doing. And leaving the Panzer Grenadier on that side of the forest meant that I couldn't provide fire support from the other side, and it was really irritating. It's exactly why I had to bring all these Hellcats all the way around to deal with the half tracks, because I didn't really have anything else to do the job. Now I've got 3 of my Hellcats trying to engage the Panzer IV, but since they took a couple shots nearby and ended up getting a bit panicked, they didn't land any shots to get the kill, so the Panzer IV are going to be getting away with that this time. Well, my Hellcats have nearly broken round, and once they do, we will be able to deal with these half tracks. But as you can see, the Big Daddy has arrived. King Tiger on the field. Going to be starting to shoot at my Hellcats. Yeah, time to get out of there. Gonna wreck my half track. This Hellcat's got to do a runner. HS-129 does come in. Fortunately, CGMC gets on target enough to stop that from being too effective. I was quite surprised though that this didn't get shot down by the 4 CGMCs I had on target. So now it's about taking out this King Tiger. Since we'd pretty much already won the game with 1,300 points and 9 minutes remaining, I decided that I would make it basically my objective to kill this King Tiger before the end of the game. So that's kind of what I was doing on the stream, just having a little bit of fun. Now on this side, Pack 40 actually shoots its last shot before it gets pinned down at my Hellcat and gets the kill, which was really quite rude. But the Hellcats here, they're so low on HE ammunition that I can't continue that engagement or I'll just straight up lose. Also, I don't want the Panzer IV to come around the corner and hit my Hellcats either, and there's also the Pack 43 that I can now see thanks to my cavalry scouts as they break through that tree line. Now the other thing we've got to look at is the use of the 380mm off map here to hit these Hellcats. Now it's actually a really good choice of unit to bring in, because 380mm off map can easily kill open top units. If these were not open top, then it would be a bit useless, but if a Hellcat gets hit by the off map, it's going to have a hard time. Either way, more Hellcats arriving. I've got now 2 on the left, we've got 2 here, plus the 3 of the pack that's falling back from that attack. HS-129 comes overhead, plenty of 50 cals on target, plenty of CGMCs on target, but not going to go down today. I was getting pretty unlucky with the AA in this one, but there we go. Getting lucky with the Hellcats, I guess you could say, since I did kill 2 Befell Panthers without them even firing. So my supply has arrived to get those HE rounds back into the Hellcats and the M21 mortar. I did have a rifle squad rolling up on this left side, and the cavalry scouts actually took out the Befell Panzer IV. So I've got a decent idea of what's here. I can see pretty much all of this thanks to the cavalry scouts. But I'm still very much focused on trying to take out this King Tiger. Now, an 88 has been brought up here to cover the Königstiger, and that's actually kind of a big problem for me, because if I want to do my flank and both the 88 and the King Tiger are in range, it's going to be very hard for me to hit from 2 sides and not just get wiped. And currently this is 1 star, the King Tiger's 2 stars, and it's accompanied by the 232 as well. And that 232 with 4 AP at close range can actually hit these Hellcats pretty damn hard. So now we see more off-map coming in. We've got that off-map there. Drop in emergency barrage by the looks of things all over this kind of area. And that one shot there, as you can see, does blow up the Hellcat. I'm another Hellcat down. I've only got 6 left again. I'm bringing up more cavalry scouts, just because they're pretty decent at both close range and for their bazookas and keeping concealed. But on this left side, Tiger's going to have something to say about that as he wrecks the WC-52. Now Königstiger does get a shot onto my Hellcat as well, and now it's time to go. I mean, I can't let this Königstiger just roll forwards like that anymore. So here we go, rolling up. Hellcats are going to start engaging the Königstiger. They all miss. 88's got range onto this Hellcat, so is the Tiger E. Tiger E takes out 2 of them on that side, and there's just too much here now for the Hellcats. With the Tiger E able to shoot across onto those Hellcats, that was like my doom. That was the end of the Hellcat push, and with the Hellcats gone, that actually makes my defense pretty damn weak. We even have an off-map coming down here alongside the HS-129. And that HS-129 going to clean up another one. So now 1 Hellcat left. This one kind of useless due to it having a weapon damage. I could have tried to move it back up to the GMC, but I'm scared if I move this GMC at this point, they're just going to get wrecked by the King Tiger. So, yeah, I'm having a bit of trouble now. The Panzer player coming back strong. Now, it was kind of my fault that I gave him this opportunity. Pushing up my Hellcats and not kind of being aware that this Tiger was in range, nor just like neglecting the fact that the 88 was here. None of it was a good idea. I should have just played safe, had my Hellcats hang out behind, moved the ones on the left back, and then at some point I would have been able to basically flank this Königstiger, because in the side armor they only have like 9 armor, so that Königstiger would have died very, very quickly. But yeah, that's going to be it, really. He's going to start to push me back. Armored LMG rifles are trying to deal with the Flak 88 here and the SDKFZ7. Now, fortunately for me, armored LMG rifles are actually pretty damn good at this sort of range, because they have the 230 cals with 8 HE. Also, the M4 Garands are on target of the Flak 41. However, the MG42 is going to pull through and pin down the armored LMG rifle, which is going to allow the 88 to get away. Königstiger is just getting into range of unit after unit, and any units that now sort of move back or try to retreat are going to be cut off by this Befehl Panther as well. So I'm in a really kind of sticky situation. If I still had the Hellcats threatening behind these tree lines, then it would have been a different story entirely. But the use of the off map there did wreck my use of the Hellcats quite a lot. And I guess even if I hadn't gone for the attack on the Königstiger, they could have still off-mapped behind this tree line and moved them so that the King Tiger could have continued to move forwards. But what I'm kind of hoping for now is that these cavalry scouts can get a shot onto this King Tiger. They need to be within 200 meter range, and they should potentially get that kill. Like I was saying, since this was on stream, I was having a bit of fun with it, trying to make it so that the King Tiger was my only target towards the end here, and I just wanted to see these cavalry scouts take it out. Cavalry scouts are pretty damn badass, and it would be good to see them work out. So here we've got the M21 mortar carrier just providing some smoke. That's going to cover my cavalry scouts moving forwards, and I'm hoping that when we get out of the smoke here, we can find that Königstiger and hit it. But look how far that bazooka whiffed. Absolute nightmare. It was so damn close. But the cavalry scouts let us down. Such a shame. Now, I brought up these two M12 GMCs because I thought they would be helpful in like killing the Pack 40 and the Pack 43, but they ended up just being Panther bait at this point. I'm trying to like fast move them away, but unfortunately for them, they have a very slow speed of 50 km per hour on road, 18 km per hour off road, and they know that they've broken my back, so they're just going to continue to push forwards now, and there's not too much that I can do to stop it. I'm finally moving this M4 105mm down here that I've forgotten about, but honestly I'm not too concerned that I've lost all of my units at this point due to us still being at the +1, silhouettes pushed all the way through, and there's only 1 minute and 16 seconds left on the map. Also, I did start sort of reinforcing on the right briefly. I brought over a couple of M5 guns to help out here, which did pick up quite a few kills and sort of relieve the pressure from Sarcastic against Dagger 1 Bravo. And I've also got this M4 105mm now that's helping out with some of the infantry. Actually hitting the 232 there and making that fall back. Yeah, the M12's just not getting far enough away, so I'm going to go for the hide behind the tree line here. But as you can see, another tank on target, the Panther A. Not sure what's going on here. That is a lot of units. How would you have that many points left? That's crazy. I never actually saw this in the game. I didn't realize that was coming. But that is way too late. Crazy stuff. 10 seconds left on the clock. There's a King Tiger. There's, I think, 2 Panthers. And the Tiger E. Without Spitfire almost shooting down the HS-129. But that's where the game's going to end. And after 40 minutes, a total victory. What an incredible game. If we go to the team perspective, we can see that I did get 4,200 kills, but on the same wavelength, we've got, 3,910 losses. That's pretty damn mental. It's a lot of losses indeed. It mainly came down to the silly sort of Hellcat attack onto this King Tiger. I just wanted to kill it so damn bad. And I knew at that point that it was pretty hard for us to lose. So I just went for it for the sake of the stream, and it was quite fun. And although I did get pushed all the way back and lose almost all of my forces, I had a lot of fun doing it. Silhouette, fantastic job. 3,755 kills to 1,900 losses pushed through. Dagger 1 Bravo just holding on at the factory. Pretty negative KD, but Devout, again in the town, doing a decent job holding his ground. And on the opposing side, Paradox Obscurus played very, very well. considering how much ground he actually lost, he was playing very well throughout, and there's a lot of stuff you guys can pick up from the way he was playing, and hopefully I pointed it out throughout the game. In terms of kills, 105, taking out the Panzerschreck, plenty of half-tracks, Panzer Grenadier. This one took out 2 Pak 38s. Hellcat took out the Puma. This Hellcat, though, Befehl Panther, Panther A. This Hellcat, another Befehl Panther, Befehl Panzer 4. This one taking out Panther A. This one taking out another Befehl Panther. So loads of kills coming out from those Hellcats, and really paid themselves off. But it was just me losing, you know, the 2 M12 GMCs, all the Hellcats, all of my like fire support, all of the AA. That's what amounted to all of my losses. Otherwise, my KD probably would have been around the same as Silhouette if I'd played it a bit more carefully towards the end. But there we go, all for fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.